Hello, this is Socially Triggered, and this video is going to be on understanding crazy. I'm going to try to explain the way people think in order to help those who don't understand the current ideology that's going on, so that they can sort of understand. If you can understand the way your enemy thinks or your opposing viewpoint people think, then you can understand ways to kind of maybe, hopefully, address some of their craziness and hopefully get them to stop being crazy. So I really wanted to show a very, very interesting video. I couldn't get the sound to work, actually. I was sort of disappointed. But this is a clip from Good Morning Britain, where the presenter, Richard Madeley, and was interviewing a Labour MP. Her name is Dawn Butler. She's the black woman in the video. And she basically says something that is pretty insane. So I'm going to play it, but there's no sound. So just bear with the fact that there's no sound. So I'm just going to play it in the background. And basically what they were doing was they were talking about LGBT rights and stuff like that. And they were talking about especially trans, and the fact that trans people don't, if a man becomes a woman, a transsexual man becomes a woman, then according to Butler, she is a she, that man becomes a woman, and that as a result, and we should treat that person as a woman. They not only identify as a woman, but they are a woman in her mind. So she further kind of emphasized, so he's like sort of saying, he was sort of rebutting that by just saying, there is some biological realities that when you're born, there's boys and girls, and the doctor identifies each as such. And she cut him off and basically said, no. When you're born, there is no biological reality. There is no, each child has no gender. And that was the big twist that she said. Basically, babies are born, in her mind, without innate sex. So a child isn't a male or female. They're just a baby. And that is kind of insane. Most people would be like, well, this woman's crazy. But I'm going to explain why she thinks that way. And the reason she thinks that way is she is probably an advocate of the postmodern philosophy. Now, if you're not familiar with the postmodern philosophy, it is a philosophy that believes that there is no truth. There is only subjective truth. So your truth and my truth are two different things. And so a trans person, their truth is, if they are trans man and converting into a woman, they believe that they are a woman. So that is the truth. So a baby not being able to identify itself has no gender, it has no sex, because it hasn't yet identified itself as having a sex. So this is the idea of subjective truth, that until that individual creates their reality, creates their truth, there is no way to identify them. And that's the sort of the belief of this postmodern way of thinking. So it's a very crazy belief, but this is how you understand it. That there would be no, like, if you really believed in subjective truth, that there is no ultimate truth, then a child born of whatever gender doesn't have that gender until that child is able to identify themselves. So they would say that that child is genderless until that child is old enough that they can identify as male or female or whatever other identity that they might choose. So that's how this whole philosophy works. And you can imagine what this would, what kind of crazy ramifications this might have, because it could apply to many different things where there is no real truth. There's just subjective truth. And we can basically say, well, I feel like this is the reality of the world, and you have to abide by my reality. I'd like to hear your feedback. Are children born with a male or female sex? Or do we have to wait until those children identify themselves? So I'd love to hear people from all the different communities respond to this. And I enjoy people's feedback. Please check out my other videos. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.